Good morning. As we continue our morning momentum this week, yesterday we started talking about our physical being and being stewards of our bodies. We're talking about being physically enabled and strengthened to be able to accomplish everything that God has called us to be. So today we're going to continue in that pattern or in that theme, and we're going to talk about healthy eating habits. Yesterday in our morning momentum, we started down a very necessary yet dangerous path. We began talking about the importance of taking care of our physical health in relationship to our desire to fulfill the purpose and the plan that God has for our lives. Talking about physical health and the condition of our bodies is a subject that must be handled with care. It can easily be portrayed as condescending or even condemning if not shared with the right spirit. And if yesterday was a dangerous path, then today we're going to step out onto a ledge of destruction. Because today, as we talk about choosing to eat healthier. Now let me remove any opportunity for this to feel condescending and condemning. For over 15 years, I have been fairly consistent in keeping the habit of going to the gym and doing some form of cardio and weight training. However, my mindset has always been, I'll go to the gym and exercise so that I can eat whatever I want. So a 2-mile run seemed to me to be a great companion with a sleeve of Oreos and a glass of milk. I say all that to say, I am in no position to condemn anyone. I'm with you. Let me also state that I'm not a qualified nutritionist or a physician of any sort. I'm not here to counsel you on certain diets or radical eating trends. Rather, I am going to share a few biblically based principles that will help us to govern our eating habits. The first principle is that of moderation. 1 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 12 from the New Living Translation states, even though I am allowed to do anything, I must not become a slave to anything. Proverbs 25 verse 16 from the English Standard Version tells us, if you have found honey, eat only enough for you, lest you have your fill of it and vomit it. A little graphic for this Tuesday morning. This principle is simply the avoidance of excess. The second principle within Scripture is that of gluttony. This is one of the least preached about sins mentioned in the Scripture. Gluttony is the habitual eating and drinking in excess. It's treating every meal like Thanksgiving dinner. It's eating just for the sake of eating, not to satisfy hunger or nourish the body, but just because I've got nothing else to do. Proverbs 23:2 speaks very directly on this matter when it says, put a knife to your throat if you're given to gluttony. A glance at this scripture sounds like the sage, wise Solomon is admonishing very drastic measures if you are unable to control your eating habits. In truth, the writer is saying you are killing yourself when you don't control your eating habits. And the final principle is that of making good choices. This principle starts in the Garden of Eden with Adam and Eve and weaves a very clear thread throughout the Bible. Adam and Eve have all the trees in the garden that they are told that they can eat freely of, but the one tree that they're warned not to eat of, that's the one they end up eating from. The power of choice always determines blessing or curses. In Deuteronomy chapter 30 verse 19, God speaks through Moses to the children of Israel and tells them, today I have given you the choice between life and death, between blessings and curses. Now I call on heaven and earth to witness the choice that you make. Oh, that you would choose life so that you and your descendants might live. I have the power to choose between a sleeve of Oreos and a golden delicious apple. The choice that I make will ultimately determine the blessing or the cursing. The principles of moderation, avoiding gluttony, and making good choices will help us to follow a better diet. Again, if you're needing to make drastic changes to your diet, you would be wise to seek the counsel of a doctor or a certified nutritionist. However, following these simple biblical principles will help you to live a healthier life and make better choices in your diet.